The next page, you're going to see what I refer to as the total experience cycle. Sounds very sexy, doesn't it? What it refers to the fact is that everything we do in our lives, we do in a pattern. Anybody here ever get happy? How do you do that? What's that? Do something you enjoy. Give me an example. Go shopping. Okay. For anything in particular? Just shopping, period. You are a true gatherer. So how does that whole process begin? Do you find yourself aimlessly wandering around the neighborhood? All of a sudden you pass a store and you just unconsciously going to begin shopping. And as you come to and realize that you're putting things in a basket, you're overcome by a sense of happiness. Is that how it occurs? Where does it start?
I think sometimes when you find time to do something you enjoy, it may be a hobby or a pastime that you enjoy, and find time to do it.
You find time to do it? You find time. You make time to do it. And what is required in order to make time to do it? Because we all have the same 24 hours, right? We choose how to prioritize it. I think I heard it over here. Decision. You decide this is an event that is going to occur. I am going to shop. Yes, I know the children are hungry, but they're resilient. They will do just fine while I shop. And I'm resourceful, so I'm going to find the best deals. Because I'm responsible for the bottom line of my family's income. So you make the decision. The first part of the total experience cycle, the very top one, is thought, thinking. That's where your ideas, your beliefs, your values, your decisions reside. So before anything occurs in your life, before you have any emotional response, you have a thought. The next part in the cycle is your feeling, your emotion. So if you know you want happy, you have to make a decision to do the things that bring about happiness in your life. Now we have one very common experience, shopping. Are there any others? I'm a big fan of comedy movies. I want to laugh. I know what movies will do it for me. I must decide to carve out a part of my day to watch the movie that I know will make me laugh. I make the decision. What other emotions do we like to experience? Some people like a surprise. There's a couple people I've met that love horror movies. I'm not one of them. They have an entire catalog of horror movies because they like that element of surprise. That sudden spike in their blood pressure, their pulse rate, that sense of excitement. They like that feeling. And they know exactly how to get themselves in that state. Now, there are also some people who like to feel bad. Anybody know anyone like this? Anybody have an in-law that's like that? Now, why would somebody want to feel bad? Is there any positive outcome, any asset that you can possibly get from feeling bad all the time? Attention, sympathy. Who said that? You get the cookie. Because they have decided that a negative gets them a positive. If I feel bad, I get sympathy. If I feel bad, I get cared for. People will take care of me, but only when I feel bad. And the people who want to help them raise out of that, oh, you just need to think more positive. Keep your chin up. It'll all work out. You need to believe in yourself. What you're basically telling them is, you need to feel happy without me. Do you realize how that kind of goes against the grain of what this person discovered? But I don't want you to go away. I want your attention. I want your sympathy. I will lose my connection with you if I'm more responsible for how I feel. Now, if this were a group therapy session, I could tell you what to do about all that. But just be aware of those patterns. First a thought, then a feeling, and the third part of the experience cycle is your physiology. Refers to what you do with your body as part of that experience. I want you to try something. Put a big smile on your face. Now feel bad. Anyone successful? Can you do it? Well, I saw a big yawn. That's a different experience. Anybody able to do that? Put a big smile on your face and feel bad. Does that work? Why not? So your body is part of your emotional experience. You know what emotion means? Energy in motion. When you feel, you use your body. I don't know too many people that are terrified sitting still. I'm just totally afraid right now. I'm absolutely terrified. Would you buy it if I explained it that way? If I was terrified, would I even need to say anything, or could you just see it on me? If I was happy, would you have to guess? If I was sad, would you know it? Because your body changes. If I just said, I'm so happy. I've never been more ecstatic my whole life. What does my physiology, what does my body tell you is the reality of my experience? I'm sad. So if someone says, you just need to think positive. Okay. All right, I'm thinking more positive. Do I need to change anything else, folks? Put a smile on my face. Yeah, I can do that. Because if you don't embody it, if you don't do it while you feel it and think it, your emotions won't change. And there's the fourth part of the cycle, action. You can think about the importance of unconditional love. You can feel it. You can kind of feel it throughout your body. But if you don't do it, it will not come into reality. You can know it's important to be patient. You can feel a state of zen. Just waiting. Your breathing is a little slower. You're not impatient. You're not anxious. But if at some point you lose that and say, darn it, I've waited long enough. Oh my goodness, my physiology just changed too. Because maybe my thoughts changed. I've waited long enough. Now I begin to feel impatient. My body begins to embody impatience. And I begin to act impatient. You see how that goes? Because far too often when it comes to wanting to change someone else, wanting to influence someone else, spectrum or not, whether they're adults or whether they're in school, where does the focus tend to be? When you look at these 4 stages of someone's entire experience, thoughts, emotions, physiology, and their actions. Thoughts? In school, what's the name of the plan that you use to change how someone else does things? It's a behavior plan. Focusing on the actions. Now, is behavior the end of the cycle or the beginning of the cycle? Could be both. Can you have a feeling without a thought? The thought needs to come first. The behavior is the last thing you see. And yet that's the tendency for everybody to want to modify that. That's like pouring water on the smoke and not the fire and wondering why things aren't changing. The closer you get to the beginning of the cycle, someone else's experience, the faster you can change it. But you need to know the cycle exists. Is it possible to change your behavior without changing your thinking? It's called acting. You can do what you need to do to make someone else happy, even though you don't agree with them. You ever been outwardly nice to someone you can't stand? So you can put on an act without changing your inner life. So a lot of these behavior plans are in essence teaching kids how to act. They don't internalize anything. Do what I say, do what you're told, do what you're supposed to, whether you agree with it or not. You cannot teach responsibility, resourcefulness, and resilience this way. Because responsibility, resourcefulness, and resilience are internal states. It's how a person feels about themselves, feels about life. It's not just training them to be good little boys and girls. Now again, we're going to be talking about this throughout the entire day. So anytime you have a yes, but, or how would you use that in this situation, please throw your hand up. Because I want to talk about your lives. I want this to be able to apply to your daily experiences. Otherwise, it is no good to you.